Hi, this is Brandon Sloy from thirstgym.com. Today we're talking about an exercise called the back squat into pins. This is a great isometric exercise used to help you blow through your sticking points of your back squat, especially if you compete in like powerlifting or something like that. Now what you are going to need, because of the logistics of this exercise, you are going to need some kind of rack that you can squat into pins. So you're going to kind of need a 2-pin system, one to set the bar on, the other one to drive the bar into. Now, we've talked about the deadlift and the bench press. It's the same kind of conversations. However, because of this being a very taxing exercise and setting it up and getting all the weights, I would definitely recommend that this is something that you definitely know you can kind of store in your back pocket and use when you're really going through a hard time of breaking through plateaus, or if you definitely know you just need more isometric based time and you're really into the triphasic stuff, this is a good way to use this piece of the exercise. Now, one thing I will mention while you're doing this is finding a good appropriate height. So when it comes to setting the bar up, I usually start around belly button level, okay? It's a good area to start. For me, it's literally like just barely above it, okay? That will give you a good place to figure out where you want to start from the bottom, because you're going to start around 90 degrees at the bottom, and you're going to have your pin probably set up not too far from that. Not too many people are going to be missing squats in this position from a sticking standpoint perspective. It's more about generating the force coming out of the bottom, learning to spend more time in the bottom. So, but the great thing about this is that you're going to get strong in the joint angles that you need to. So no matter where you set the pins at, where you're driving into, you're going to get strong at that particular spot. So if you're constantly missing your squats at one certain area, merely because of strength and not having the ability to maintain a good quality position, this would probably work really well for you. So, give you a brief demonstration first. You're basically going to want to get underneath the bar like you're doing a Anderson squat, and then we're going to drive it up into the pins. I'm going to hold this into the pins for a brief period amount of time, and then we'll talk about the programming piece afterward. So the nice thing about the pins, I like to roll the bar forward, then kind of pull the bar back behind me, get my feet set into my competition squat-based stance here, make sure the bar is good and even, take a good breath, drive my back up into the pins, and back down, okay? So what you're wanting to do is to drive all that force up into the bar and then back up into the pins, hold that, and then come back down. What I recommend is usually about 6 seconds. Again, that's from the triphasic stuff and Cal Dietz information. That seems to be a good period amount of time where you're going to have to continue to push into the pins, and you're going to get some good quality time at that particular joint angle. The weights that you're going to want to use are going to be about 60 to 70%, and what you'll find is that's going to be a heavy enough load that you have to create the force not only coming off the pins, but also that driving that into the pins is going to be very challenging. It's going to be a good weight. We're going to have to work really hard to keep that pushed up into the pins, but then also it's not going to be so heavy that you can't do that, okay? So it is going to be a good challenging perspective. Find out, start on that low end of 60%, and you can kind of wave up a little bit if you feel like you can handle more. And then you're going to do that for a couple singles. Then what you could do is you could then go over to a rack next to you, or literally set a bar on the outside of the rack, and then basically you're going to squat about the same weight that you use for the exercise for about 1 to 2 singles, really focusing on driving through this particular area where you're having the weak issues or the troublesome issues you might have. So what that's going to do, one, you're spending more time isometrically at that particular joint angle. Then you're going to train through that joint angle, applying as much force as you can, basically using some CAT-based principles and driving through that sticking point. You're going to teach your body how to get through that sticking point much faster. As I alluded to earlier, this is definitely something you kind of keep in your toolbox when you think you need it. I would not use this for weeks on end just trying to improve this one particular area without training the full range of motion. So again, this is a supplemental based exercise, would not base your whole training program around this. However, it is a good piece of information and training ideology with the isometrics to help you break through your plateaus. I will admit that I think using pins is not valued enough in training, and this is one way to benefit that with your back squat. So if you've got any questions, comments, whatever, please feel free to let me know in the comments section regarding this exercise. I'd be happy to help you out. Thanks. Have a great day.